So I have this 89 Honda Elite 80cc, and the headlight gave out last night, and I've fixed it, but I want to show you what I did. I was worried it was the headlight unit. Those run probably $140 is what I was seeing online, because you can't just replace the bulb. This is all one unit, and the bulb is brazed in place. So I was worried about that. I'll show you how to get the headlight out to be able to test to see if that's your problem, and then show you how to test as well. And then it ended up being the switch, and I'll show you what that took to fix as well. Should be able to complete everything with just these tools. Phillips head screwdriver. I believe this is a 6mm Allen wrench and a 10mm socket. I have this thing already taken apart, just easily disassembled. There's two screws, one there, big long screws. Undo those, and then you want to take out these two screws as well, that one and that one. Once you've done that, this unit is free, except for the cables connecting it. So I don't have anything attached here really, but detach that one. That's your connector for your headlight, and then turn signals, undo that one, turn signal, undo that one, and then this thing is home free. Pull it out. Alright, so you can check continuity between the pins on this guy, and if there's continuity, you should be good. So that there's that looks good. That one looks good. There should be some resistance because of the bulb, but the real check for me was actually plugging it in. Alright, so you get a 12-volt source. Mine happens to be a wall wart that has handy-dandy output here, but I mean, you can string up some batteries together, or actually have a voltage source. Do you see the light? I don't know if you can see the light. Just touching not any of these two, but touching these pins together should get your light to come on. You can see it coming on down there. All right, there we go. There's high, there's low, there's high, there's low. Yeah, clearly there's no issue with this light, thankfully. If that weren't happening, then your issue would be your light. You need to change out this entire unit, which seems like it would be fairly simple. You've got this system in here to be able to adjust side to side, up and down, so your headlight points in the right direction. But I think it's just a matter of, let's see, what is actually holding in here. I mean, if you take these screws out there, and then just undo these from the light, you should be good. There's one on top, one on bottom, and that's what's actually holding it to this frame. And then you replace this mount. I've read online to replace it with 2001 or newer, because these are replaceable. They were about 140 bucks. They were sold out when I looked for them. So there you go. On to the real problem. So my problem, and the second most likely cause for an issue with a light not turning on, is the switch being bad. And that's what I kind of suspected, but you know, obviously want to check the light first, because there's more digging for this. But it really wasn't too bad, and this was actually the fix. So then you'll want to take these off. These little caps come directly off, and then use your 6mm Allen wrench to get these off. Then there are three screws on this panel. I've already taken them out, 1, 2, and then another one on the other side. Undo those. This piece kind of have to wiggle with it a little bit, but comes out fairly easily. There you go. All right, and up underneath here, you've got this screw here. That was in there pretty tight. And then you've got this screw here. Both of those need to come out. I used a drill and pushed it in there pretty tight because this one started to strip. But after doing that, it came out pretty easily. And these are both pretty nice long bolts. Now you need to take this panel off to get a little bit more clearance. You've got 11mm socket here. And these come straight off. This one here and this one there will do the trick. Once those are undone, this should come out. Likes to get caught on this this engine kill switch. This whole thing can kind of just rest like that, giving you full access to this guy. And this is those two bolts that you took out earlier. That frees that one up. Kind of push that one down. This one comes out and around. There you go. All right. So there's this screw here. Needs to come out. All right. With that screw removed, this little panel comes off, and then you've got two screws here to undo that switch. All right, so then you just want to kind of push that through the other side. There you go. So I could snip that and it'll be a little bit easier to deal with this. Feel free to do that if you have some replacement zip ties. But you can see the soldering joints. My contact points in there, I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see those little panels. Those are all covered in green. That's not good. And so what you want to do is disassemble this piece, and it goes like this. This one, you can kind of use this for leverage. There's snaps that will disassemble this. There you go. And there's another snap here. Might need a flat head. There we go. Okay, so be careful when this thing comes apart. You see there's the contact points right there. There's your common, and then I don't think this one, whatever, high-low. And then you've got this little plate, contact plate. There's a spring underneath that contact plate, and also, it's coming apart, there's a ball and spring that give you that nice feel when you actuate the switch. So all of those pieces are trying to fall apart, so be really careful. All right, so got the contact plate with its own little spring there. You can see that's proper orientation for that. You've got another spring on the opposite side and a little ball you can see sitting here. The ball flips between both sides. So basically what I did is I took some IPA or isopropyl alcohol, 70%, and got a Q-tip and just applied it, rubbed it off as much as I could, got all the green corrosion off. And then I put some bulb grease, stuff that I just had from lying around from changing out headlights in the past. That should work well to keep it from corroding in the future. And then you just reassemble. And obviously you're going to do the same thing. You want to get all of the corrosion off the contact points. Those were also pretty heavily coated in that green stuff. And then just fit it back together. This can be a little bit tricky. This ball kind of doesn't want to cooperate. But, you know, you get the spring up to the ball and then the whole thing kind of slides in place. Alright. Since I already did this, I might put a little bit more grease back on it. Let's see. Alright, now it's just putting it back together, which was a little bit tricky. Okay. Switch has this pivot point. It likes to grab it before the other ones are in place. And just push it all back into place where it snaps. Ah, bogey. That happens. Okay. Okay, one more time to give it another shot. Yeah, that seemed to work better. I put this side in first and then connected the pillar in place and then pushed this one in and snapped in nicely. Alright, now it's just reassembling everything. Alright, and then the 2 screws back in place. Alright, screws back in place. Now you want to put the plate back in place. This guy in there. Alright, now wiggle this thing back around in place. Alright, now that's all good. This can go back on. Up and over. Up and over that kill switch. Alright, that's in place. And now it's basically just the reverse of everything I've done. Working headlight. Let's check the high beam. Oh, check the high beam. There we go. Beautiful. All from a switch. Hope this is helpful, guys. Enjoy your scootering.